All right, I just wanted to give you a few Saturday reminders. Not enough of you are reading my watch list. I am sickened and saddened by how few people are coming into the market prepared with a plan, with an idea of what the stock is going to do based off historical price action. That's all I'm trying to share every single day. What I see that's hot and what I see that could move and could fulfill a historical price pattern that I've seen in the past. So when I said Lake is an earnings winner and it spikes $2 a share from my buy alert over 2 days, granted I sold too early, I was too early, but it's the latest earnings winner to confirm my thesis that these are good plays to buy. CANF, it's the latest to confirm my thesis that you have these Friday short squeezes that you have to watch out for. The biggest, saddest part of my day is when I see students who lose. We had a great overall Friday with students, but then Tim Grittani, thank God for his transparency, but he lost 100,000 on CANF, and he's going to be making a video on it, and I'll share that when it's done. Thank God for his transparency because so few traders are this transparent when they win big or especially when they lose big. There are other chat rooms and newsletters that specifically hide big losses and they brush them under the rug, as we saw with PBMD a few weeks ago. Tim Grittani, to his credit, is not just my best student, but he's also the most transparent. And he had a $100,000 plus loss shorting CANF too early. And I got to tell you, if he had watched my watch list or read it, he might have had a little bit of a different take. And I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, he's literally has the best track record of the past few years. There's a lot I can learn from him. But even great traders make mistakes. And so when he has a six-figure loss here and here, and he also lost on ADXS, you have to understand how dangerous the stock market can be when you are a gunslinger, when you ignore rules, when you just start thinking what the stock is going to do and you don't trade safe and conservative. Remember, 90 to 95% of traders lose, so it is your job and should be your obsession to try to be one of the few who make it. And you have to look out for pitfalls. Betting too big, shorting a potential supernova on a Friday, these are very big problems. I mean, CANF, I said, look, so congrats to longs. You might even get a Friday short squeeze, but the higher it goes, the better of a short it'll be. And CANF tanked $3 a share off its highs late Friday. I didn't necessarily capitalize. I only made a few thousand, but I at least respected its potential that it could turn into a supernova. Not because it's a good company, mind you. It's because it's such a bad company. And people like Tim Grittani and a lot of people who, look at these crap companies and they short big, but you short too early. Sometimes the worst companies can turn into the biggest spikers, especially on Fridays. So you have to respect that. And I can't encourage you enough to take advantage of these sales. You have 2 days left. This is our back to school sale. You have 45, 70% off, mostly 50% off these DVDs. And these go over patterns like this. My How to Make Millions DVD would have saved people. If you watch it all, it's 35 hours. I understand it's long, but that saves you. Education can save you. And Tim Grittani has 35 plus live trades here on his trading tickers, some gains, some losses, but amazing education. And you need to study this stuff. And then we also have the newsletters, which are 30, 45, 55% off for the next 2 days only. So please take advantage of this. I don't want to see any more big losses like this. To his credit, though, this has been a problem with him throughout his career where he goes in too big too early. He's made a lot of money. He's made millions doing this, but he's also lost six figures. But to his credit, his last biggest loss was roughly double this. So even though he has big losses still, mind you, he had $1,500 to his name 4 years ago. So he's learning to do a little bit better. And I think he'll talk about that in his video lesson. And final thought for the day, this is my buddy James's newsletter. He literally did take a few thousand and turn it into several million. But the biggest thing is that he has written so many research reports And because he has such credibility and people follow what he says, the stocks have tripled. Even though it didn't necessarily play out like he wanted with PIP, you want to be first to see his research report. Somebody was like, "Oh, I'll just not subscribe to his newsletter, and I'll read about his pick a few minutes or a few hours later, and I'll miss like 10 cents a share." You might miss $1 a share. You might miss $2 a share. This thing spiked PIP for several weeks actually after his research report. And VRNG, he wrote about it here when it was in the ones, and for several months it tripled. But you want to hear it first. You want to hear it from the source. If you hear information secondhand, you're probably going to get some wrong information, and it's going to cost you a lot more. A lot of you guys don't seem to get that if you invest in your education and good market tools, it costs you a few hundred, maybe a few $1,000s, but the upside is so tremendous. Not to mention, James has a 6-month money back guarantee on his newsletter, which I think is insane. So there's really no risk, but a lot of you are trying to cheap it out, not studying DVDs, not trying to get these tools that can make you thousands or tens of thousands. That's why I have these sales, just to encourage you, hopefully to push you over the edge to watching this stuff, not just buying this stuff. Remember, 80% of people who have a gym membership, they don't even go. So they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a member of this gym, I feel good paying my monthly fee." And they don't even go. They don't even utilize the gym to, become fit. And, I should be one to talk, but you need to purchase these things and invest in your own self-improvement, whether it's a gym or a DVD or a newsletter, because the upside is so much more. And the opportunity cost, the risk of you not having this information. I guarantee you that after you watch Tim Grittani's DVD with these 35 live trades, you will think differently on every single trade that you do. I've already seen, dozens and actually hundreds of comments. If you go to his Twitter feed, he retweets these people. And the amazing thing is so different. I mean, look at this. Tim, your DVD rocks. First trade today, 8% gain after commissions. I finally watched your DVD twice, and yesterday I made my first very accurate watch list. I'm finally getting the hang of this. This is his fiance and dog. Fady says, "Thanks again for the epic DVD." And there's over or nearly 100 reviews on Investimonials. Biggest takeaway from Tim Grittani's DVD clip is the emotional aspect. Turns out he is human and thinks and feels the same. Just because he's turned 1,500 now into 2.7, 2.8 million, it doesn't mean that he's any different than you. He just goes in with a very specific plan. And, you'll see that he probably went against his plan, and he wasn't so disciplined with his latest 6-figure loss. But you can learn from his gains, you can learn from his losses, but you gotta learn. And you got to incorporate this into your own trading. Don't be the person who has a gym membership and doesn't go. Utilize him. You are so fortunate. I want you to go to Twitter and tweet him right now and just say, "Thank you, Tim. Thank you for being so transparent." His nickname is CroyRunner89 because he doesn't have to be. Most people who turn a few thousand into a few million, they're not that transparent. They're not caring of how other people do. They're like, "Yeah, I did everything I can." That's why it is so incredible that he's willing to give back. And he literally put in hundreds of hours making this DVD. Trust me, I know. We've been talking about it and working on it for nearly a year. And all these other DVDs just teach patterns that are going to save you. So please, 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 please take advantage of it. I should respond to one criticism. People are like, "Oh, Tim, you just want to sell us DVDs. You want to, sell us stuff." Well, yeah, because I know that I'm selling you education. I don't know how you can hate on education. I understand a lot of you guys don't have a lot of money, but education is something that can pay for itself. I'm not saying go out and buy a freaking, Nintendo or PlayStation, something that's going to be totally useless and suck the time and life out of you and maybe give you a little entertainment. I'm talking about investing in yourself. And, for these 50% off deals, I think it's the single best deal that you can do, where you can invest in yourself and your potential and your education and your future, and you save a bunch of money. So if you don't want to learn, I can't help you. Most people have attitude problems where they just don't do what it takes to really become a great trader. And that's sad. I can make these guides, I can show you patterns and rules that have worked, so can Tim Grittani, but it's up to you to process it and to utilize it so that you don't, lose 5 or 6 figures on a trade, and so that you can actually make 5 or 6 or sometimes even 7 figures. It all comes down to education and knowledge. And this isn't a clockwork orange. I don't have a machine that can, open your eyeballs and brainwash you into knowing this stuff. Only you can make the decision. And most students don't have the right dedication. Just the fact that, look at this. I mean, this is my watch list. Let me refresh it just to get an accurate number. But, there's 686 views. Okay. And this is after 2 days. And I have, nearly 10 times that amount of students. So less than 10% of people are even reading this. And the same thing with my video lessons. Less than 10% of people are studying my video lessons, even though you have access to it. So I know that there's a lot of content. I know that you're busy, but I'm trying to create more millionaires here, okay? The reason why I'm the most successful trading coach is because I have millionaire students. How do I have millionaire students? Because I have the most content, and I share every mistake, every single, watch list, every single day. I try and come in with a plan, and I try and share that plan with you. And, my business and my own self-fulfillment does better when my students do better. It serves no good if you buy a DVD and you're just like, I don't watch it, and you lose half or all your money on a trade. My investment in you becomes very worthwhile and really makes me happy every morning when I see another student email who says, oh wow, your watch list or your video lesson or your DVD, changed my outlook, and now I'm trading better. I have more stock market knowledge. I'm not losing as much, and I get, I literally have thousands of testimonials, but only 10% of students, or 15% of students, are watching these DVDs and video lessons and webinars. If you understand about the trading challenge, I have my trading challenge, and challenge students get like sometimes 2, 3, 4 webinars per week. And here we just posted 2. We post them on the weekend. Here's Michael Goods, and only 25 views. Okay, I understand that you don't want to watch all of this. Look at this. This 2.5 star. Michael Good is my first millionaire student. Someone's going to rate his webinar where he's sharing his expertise 2.5 stars. I know he's not, necessarily the most entertaining, but he has incredible knowledge to pass down. Here's my webinar. People actually like this one, but only 20 views. Okay, these are my challenge students. So I know it's a Saturday. I know you want to relax and probably just go hang out by the pool or with your friends and go out drinking or play PlayStation. But I cannot encourage you enough to take advantage of these sales, to learn from people like Tim Grittani and the patterns that I share and the rules that I share. Take advantage of my friend James with his new newsletter with the freaking ridiculous 6-month guarantee. So there's really no risk whatsoever. You can try it for 5 months and then return it if you don't like it. And it costs you nothing. And you also get an extra year. So if you ignore this and you ignore education from these self-made millionaires, I think that you only have yourself to blame. But I want more successful students, and I'm trying to share with you the tools. Tim Grittani, I cannot wait for your video lesson about your big loss. I'm sorry that it happened, but again, thank you for even being willing to share it. I know it's going to be so useful. And the rest of you, I'm going to have an awesome video lesson tomorrow about the recent volatility and the recent plays that have been popping up. But today, it's just kind of a motivational video and to remind you that you only have 2 days left on all these sales. Thank you. See you.